Well, hello again. As you can see, I'm still messing around with my taillights. My sequential taillights, my backup lights, my brake lights, all that jazz. And believe it or not, we're going to have a video number 100 before we get to drive the car. I didn't plan it this way, but I'm getting a lot of contacts and emails from people, well, not a lot, but a good number, from our subscribers who have 64, 65, and 66 Thunderbirds with these sequential taillights, and they're having a lot of trouble with them. And they knew that I was having a lot of trouble also. So the bottom line was, are you fixed yours yet? How did you fix them? Let us know. What's going on? One person said he just wanted to see how it was done. He doesn't own a Thunderbird. But that's just a group of people who are our subscribers. You can bet there's others out there. And guess what? There's no YouTube videos anywhere that I could find. Now there is a guy who put up a written one with a few photographs on the Vintage Thunderbird Club International. And I went through that, which kind of familiarized what I'd find in the bag up in here. You'll see that in a minute, what I'd find. But it wasn't. It was more of a technical how this works and how that works, and I didn't care about any of that. I wanted to know what it was from a mechanical standpoint, and that's what it is. And maybe I could fix it. And I didn't. But you all saw what my problems were. A couple of lights lighting here, and everything blinking on and off all at the same time. Totally screwed up. So Brendan and I went to work on it, and every time there's something that bugs me, I bounce it off of him, and he'd tell me what to do. And we got her going. You'll see here in a minute. So yeah, this is video number 100. Those of you who are bored with this project, see you later. Not a problem, okay? And there are some of you that way. Old 64 Goat, he said, I'm bored with it. Not a problem. Go ahead, go elsewhere. I understand. If you don't own a Thunderbird and you're not really interested in how cars are repaired, it doesn't bother me, because I do the same thing myself with other videos, all right? So it's all the same to me. So if you're interested, stick around, and we'll show you what I found, what I did, and how it's working now. Right now I'm messing with a backup light bulb, this one right there, that doesn't want to cooperate. So hopefully I'll have that done. I wanted to get it done today, but I had to go down to Little Rock and get some stuff done. So stick around till the end of the video, and maybe you'll have learned something if you own one of these puppies. There's one fellow that contacted me. Right now I can't remember his name. He just contacted me recently, and he said that he removed the mechanical stuff, the sequential mechanical stuff out of the bag, and if I'd like to have some parts, he said he replaced it with an electronic gizmo in place of the mechanical one. Yeah, and I appreciate that offer as far as the mechanical stuff goes. However, I'll tell you what I'm most interested in. I wish I could remember his name. I should run into the computer, but I don't have time. I want to get this done before it gets too dark. And tell me how it went with the electrical. That box that you can buy that takes the place of all of that. I'm really interested in that. If you got a few pictures, if you got a video, or if you have any videos up on your channel, point me in that direction of the directional, what problems did you have, that sort of thing. I'd kind of like to get an idea in case this one craps out completely before I even really get a chance to use it. I'd like to know which one you bought, where you got it at, what the price was. Stuff I would teach you or tell you if I had done it myself. So I'd appreciate any help in that area. And I guess that's about it. We'll see you, I guess, at the end of the video. One other thing before we get started, I know my camera is clicking, okay? I know it. I hear it just as well as you do. So it's not like I don't know these things, The camera's old. I'm trying to make it last, okay? I really should buy another one, but I have some other parts I want to buy for the Thunderbird. Now, if this thing quits, I'll have to get another one, but don't tell me about my clicking camera, Maybe there's gold around here. Maybe it's detecting gold. I don't know. Well, we got this one here not working at all. I wonder why that is. Let's try the other side. It's got to be what's in that bag, I guess. Oh, we're getting something over here too. Yeah, same thing we had last time. and one in the center. These two are not, it's not cooperating, so this is the bag that holds the sequential light motor and all that crap, worm gear and anyway, we're going to take this out next time. There is a bolt, long bolt, by the way. It's probably about that long. One here, and one here that holds it in. And then we have to unplug these two plugs here. It comes out and it splits to this plug and this plug. And I think there's one on the other side as well. And that whole thing should come out. This hose right here is the hose that opens up the back vent that lets the air flow out the rear of the car on the outside. You know, that was a big selling point back in the day. And it's just another vacuum line that needs to be replaced. So we're going to go ahead and take these two screws out, get this bag loose, and I'm having trouble unplugging those plugs. I may have to squirt them with WD-40 or something. Get a couple of pliers, one on each end. I don't want to mess them up, you know. There's a lot of wires coming in there, but right now let's just go ahead and see if we can't get these two screws out and get that bag at least somewhat loose. Well, here's what we have so far. We've got those two that need to be unplugged. We have that one right there. If I can get this light over here, there we go. This one here needs to be unplugged. And there's one in the back of it, a round one right there that needs to be unplugged. And I have another one down here that needs to be unplugged. Right down in there. So we got a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plugs that need to become undone. Let's see if I can make that happen. I am having zero luck getting those things apart. It's what, 50 some years they've been sitting just like that. Well, imagine what they look like on the inside, huh? I've got to get these things separated somehow. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I hate to heat them up with a heat gun and soften them up. That wouldn't be very smart. But at the same time, I got to get them apart. This really sucks. I have tried everything and they don't want to come apart. They are hard as a rock. Let me show you here. From over the years, these things they're just hard as a rock. They were kind of a rubbery texture, I guess, in the beginning. So, what seemed like a crazy idea a few minutes ago is now going to come into fruition, because we're taking this heat gun and we're going to heat this small one up to see if we can't get it apart without burning it and frying it and every other thing. Let's see what happens. Well, that turned out not to be such a crazy idea after all. It worked perfectly, and all the connectors are undamaged. I just heated them up just enough and then put a pair of gloves on I have, and then just kept wiggling back and forth, back and forth. Finally, they gave way. It was just enough heat. Matter of fact, the hardest one to get off was this one right here. Just didn't want to budge. Now that exposes these two relays for us, and I think one of them's a brake relay. I don't know. I got to figure that out. I got to look in the manual to find out what's what on these. I just don't know what they could be. Just don't know. Well, let's go ahead and I think what I'll do is take it in the house. Wifey told me earlier, look, John, if you have any problems out there in the car where you don't have enough room on your bench or whatever, bring it in and work on that thing on my kitchen table. I said, oh, baby, you are all right. I shall do just that. What they tape this thing together with is looks like a really wide friction tape. They just went round and round. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do this. I think what I should do is, this is like cutting a diamond, you know. You got to study it for a long time before you decide how to open it up. Or, you know, now here's a little strip right here, a little patch strip. Maybe I can start from there, or yeah, I guess it should come out from the bottom. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll just cut it right across from the bottom, wire to wire, maybe on the other side, see if I can't slip the whole thing out of the bottom and leave this all intact. Probably the best way to go. I decided I better unbag this thing outside on the bench in the carport rather than take it in on the kitchen table, and I'm glad I did, because it was full of all kinds of padded matting in there, and you know, it would have been all over the place. I had to cut it, the bag off even around these legs. So I just split it down both sides, cut it around the legs, and she's still intact. The only thing that's messed up is that matting. I'll figure out what to do with that later, but there's a lot of hair that was stuck here and there. I'm going to have to take it back out in the garage right now and give it a good blow with the air compressor. Okay, let's see what we've got here before we do any electrical checkouts. I'll let you see what we got. This plastic thing is in good shape. Nothing is worn down, cracked, broken, or anything. It's just dirty, that's all. That cam. And this thing obviously rotates counterclockwise as we look at this end. And as it comes around, it hits, let me zoom in here a little bit. As it comes around, it hits these little babies here, which all work. They all work fine. And the contacts do close. These are your contacts. These are your contacts right here. They're all good all the way down. We'll hit one of them, show you. It closes when it comes around. They are dry. This nylon thing is dry, but I don't see any wear marks of any significance. So we'll give that a good wash out with some cleaner, and we'll figure out. I don't know if I should do anything with these contacts or not. I don't know, other than to just flood them and clean them. I don't know. Anyway, over to this part right here, the signal relay, I think they call it. I found a problem right off the bat. Look at here, this wire. These wires are all underneath the lips on these rivets. But this one, it looks okay, but when you touch it, it's loose as a goose, just hanging out there. It's not underneath there. And also, turn this baby around. This is going to give us a problem. I'm not going to give you a problem. I'm going to give me a problem. I don't really want to do it, but I don't have much choice. I'll use my old Hacko. That thing there, that tab, one of these, I bent all the tabs up and we're ready to pull it out, but then when I got to this one, it's soldered. It's soldered to this brass thing. Right, of course, right where the wire had to come off. I didn't do that. It was like that when I started looking around. And I'm going to go ahead and extract the solder and then see if I can't get this thing out of the metal without tearing it up. I may have to ultimately remove the two bolts, or the two nuts, and remove it from the board and work at it, work on it a little bit closer. I don't know. I'm going to try not to do that. This here, I don't know what this is. I do not know what that is. I don't know if that can't be the brake relay. It's something else. I'll have to look it up. Maybe it's got a part number in the manual or something, and it'll tell me what it is because there's a part number stamped on the top. Let's see what the part number is. C5SB-13A410-B. C5SB-13A410-B. How about that? I have no idea what that is. I got to look it up. I've got the turn relay taken out of the can. It was a piece of cake, really. And I also soldered this wire back up right there. Seems to be holding pretty tight. And all I did was fill the hole, that hole there. I cleaned it up real good, put lots of flux down in there, and then went ahead and filled it with solder, then tinned both sides of this, and then just laid it on there and pressed down while with the heat solder. It looks pretty good, I think. It's pretty strong. It's not going to go anywhere. It hasn't moved at all. Now, the other side is the problem, though. The other side is just a series of little contacts that are controlled. Let me see which side is this side over here. They're controlled by this thing rocking up and down. They just go up and down on the bottom side. And our biggest problem, they're corroded. There's a lot of corrosion in there on the screws, on the inside of the lid, no problem. But I'm going to have to clean all this up. The contacts seem to be okay, but I'd like to get them cleaned. They just kind of go up and down like so. This black thing controls two sets, but one side. See now, a person who's inexperienced would say, "Well, this is kind of cool," and just leave it. But that's not the case. You can't do stuff like that. This here is nice and tight. See, it doesn't move. It goes up and down real good. Now this one over here slips right out from under there, see? I'm going to have to tighten up this rivet. I'm going to have to tap on this rivet and get it tight, because I think what was happening is this thing was not only moving in that direction, it was moving in this direction, which kept this side from contacting there, and it was also hitting against this. So that is just loose as a goose. So I'm going to have to tighten her up. I'll let you know how that goes. Then I'm going to take a scrub brush, scrub everything I can in here, and then I don't know. I'd like to run some kind of a burnisher on those contacts. They are a little bit corroded, not much, but hard to tell on this camera, I know. See, even if I get it down here, it may not be in focus. No, that's not bad. The only way it contacts is down and up. The second one is like so. See, this thing here deals with 3 of those things. I don't know. I'm going to clean it up real good. I may just wind up flushing it real good with contact cleaner. I don't know. We'll see. But it needs to be cleaned, and that thing needs to be tightened up. Well, I took it back out in the garage and tried to fix this here where it would, you know, tighten up a little bit. But that's when I found out what the problem is. Look at the problem. Here is the problem. The rivet is broken. That's what's enabling it to turn back and forth. How about them apples, huh? And I can't glue it back down in there. I can't just take the rivet and glue it back down in there so this thing will stay straight, because wifey turned the TV on there. Anyway, because this rivet on the other side from that wire has to come up and be connected to this somehow. Okay, what we're going to have to do here is I'm going to have to drill this thing out all the way through. I'm going to have to use a screw, small screw, up from the top down, take the place of the rivet, put a nut and a lock washer on the other side. That's all we can do. It's the only option we have. Well, I got lucky out in my stash. I found just the right diameter screw, and it's longer than need be, which I can lop it off. I had a couple of star washers, and the one under the head was already there. It won't come off. I'm going to go ahead and reuse that one, and then I'll use this star washer on the other side. So we'll put this together, and then I'm going to have to bend one of these because it's down too far, I think, making contact when it's not supposed to. I don't think. I'll let you look at it when we get done. Let's get it on there. Well, that's it, old bean. I got it in there nice and tight with the lock washer, the star washer on top, and I bent the arm up on the outside one because one was hitting before the other, and I checked it on the other end. We don't want that. We want it to they all have to hit at the same time. You know, the pairs come down and hit at the same time. Kind of hard to see that, I know, but now they hit together like they're supposed to. Everything hooked up. All the connectors have been cleaned, sprayed out, and I didn't put them all in there completely tight. I just put them in there enough to make contact. I'll be taking them all out anyway because I got to put I got to secure the top on this. I just slid it down over there. Everything's been cleaned. I have a jumper wire between ground and that between actually right here where I had to unsolder that piece over the ground. And that's about it. One other thing, if you ever do take this thing apart like I have and you take the top off, be careful of the top. It is very, very brittle. It's almost 60 years old. It's got a hole in it, and that hole snaps over a little bump that sticks out down here. See it right there? That's that little bump. And that's what holds it on. That's all. You pull the plastic back just enough to slide it off. And you have to grease these things. You have to grease the cam. Now the cam is this white thing right here. Here's the shaft coming off the motor right here, and this is the cam, and a lobe, and another lobe under this black wire. You put yourself some silicone grease on there. This stuff here, I've got this 100%. I've been using it for a long time. It's I'll tell you about the lighting situation. There we go. I got that at O'Reilly, small tube, cost a couple bucks. Lasted me a long time though. Anyway, the reason being, you want to get that grease, and one other place you want to grease also is the things that the cam lobes hit. You don't gob it up. Put yourself enough grease on there that you know it's there, because when these things come around, they hit these little copper. Let me get in a better position here. They hit these little copper things, and they make them make contact. See it? Like so, and they'll come around. These lobes come around. They hit the top. They hit the top of those copper things, and it makes these contacts here open and close all the way back on all four of them. Okay, and so go ahead and put a grease on those as well. See it? Okay, just don't gob it up, but make sure it's on there good enough. After you've sprayed it all out and cleaned the box all out, make sure you put enough grease on there to do the job, okay? And that means to do the job for, I don't know, 5 more years, okay? And if it doesn't work, I don't know what to tell you. All the lights are lit, but they're kind of weak. They're just not that good. We have 12 volts on the battery. I just measured it. So let me close the door. Alright, let's see what we've got. Left signals. Well, we're getting something back here. Let's see what we've got. Well, how about that? Success on the left. Let's do the right one. Oh, I'm excited now. See what the right gives me. Come on, baby. Be good. Be nice. How's that, huh? Are you a happy camper now? I certainly am. No brake lights, I'm afraid. So we're going to have to work on that, and I'm certain it's underneath this, it's down here. Anyway, we've made some progress, huh? When I first got the car, I did have brake lights. This outside one here, and this outside one right here operated when you pressed the brake. Now, the only thing I've messed with between then and now, other than, putting the new wires in, which we know are good, the only thing I messed with between then and now was the switch that the brake pedal, or the brake pedal hits, the brake arm hits. So I'm pretty sure the problem is up there. I may have it misadjusted. But we did have brake lights. We don't have them now. It's got to be the brake pedal as far as I'm concerned. If not, we'll come back and we'll figure it out. Tell you what, let's go ahead and put some bulbs in the backup lights sockets to see if we have some backup lights. Well, we got one backup light working and one not. I need to work on that a little bit, but at least we know we're getting voltage back this way. And I do have power coming out of here, as you can see. Here's the problem. This ground part that grounds the bulb is not connected to ground. I don't know what I have no continuity between here and any ground point. Why does this have to happen? Now, this was not a brand new socket. The only thing I changed out was this right here in both of them, because these things are rolled over and crimped in. Can't mess with those. So at least we know we've got the switch working on reverse on the shifter, and we have power going to both lights. So as far as I'm concerned, that's 80 to 90% of the problems solved in the taillights. Tomorrow I'll take that thing out and see if I can't figure out what the deal is with that bulb. I don't want to quit back here until I get everything functional. And the only thing keeping us from it now is that one stupid bulb. I can't believe it. Well, until next time, this is John. I hope you learned something from all this. Like I said, I had to stretch the whole thing out. It looks like it's going to be video number 101 before we get to drive this car. It may be now, it may be 105 or 110, I don't know. But, I said early on that if I saw anything that I thought you should like to know or need to know, and apparently people who have contacted me said, yeah, we need to know, I would go ahead and include it, and that's what I'm doing. So, we'll catch you next time. Until then, this is John.